And welcome to yet another insightful and engaging episode of Mindful Monana. My name is Shishi, and here today on Lesedi TV, we'll be discussing and exploring a topic that touches everyone in the community, every member of our family. We're talking about the relationships between parents and children. These are relationships that are the foundation of a human life. They shape how you think, feel, and how you show up in the world as a child and even as you become an adult. The values that are in the foundation, the values that relationships carries, and the bonds within the family dynamic after and beyond the establishment of that particular relationship. Today, we'll be unpacking this juicy issue with a beautiful guest. I'll call her Lady Z for now and allow her Ipulele.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you so much. Zannel from where regarding this topic?
Thank you very much, Shishi. I like you. And to you out there, I am very passionate about the topic of today, parenting. My name is Zannel Sealetsa. I am a chief counselor. I've been doing this for over 20 years.
Wow.
I'm from Zannel Pty Ltd, where our services include counseling.
So, tota ke lona ba le meka-mekana le dio tse on a daily.
Definitely.
It's your bread and butter. Start us off by just explaining what you would say makes a healthy relationship between a parent and a child.
I'll just start with probably defining in my own terms what parenting is, because before we could talk about healthy relationship, we start with what is parenting. I feel parenting is the foundation, is the machine, is the bridge that gives us out to the world. Therefore, it is very imperative that we define that we know it. And it has some characteristics that we talk about, how to work a parenting. And the characteristics just include being you, exerting you. I normally say to the parents that you become the best of you, because you cannot be any other person. You can only be you. It characteristics by the others. The characteristics will include loving, would include caring, would include protective, would include nurturing. There are many of them. But now let's get back to the question where you say, how do you define a healthy relationship? A healthy relationship is whereby you are able to communicate. I normally call it communication as in blood. You cannot have a body where you don't have blood in it. Therefore, communication is that imperative. It's key in parenting, because you need to communicate, whereby it's a give and take. You are able as a parent to sit there and instill what you want your child to know. And I normally say parenting, healthy relationship or healthy parenting, it's whereby again you breathe life.
Speak life. Scripturally what?
And when you breathe life, you don't talk about it, you show it. They would know mommy, daddy likes it like this. In actual fact, you'll see them doing like that. There's a theory in psychology that says, I'm my mother's daughter.
Yes.
When I talk about I'm my mother's daughter, we are saying there are things that I inherited from my mother. And as much as you are watching there are things that you inherited from your parents. What am I saying? Even if you don't tell us, we know what you're supposed to do. We know that when mommy comes home, these are the values. Values include respect, that when people come, what do? You give them water, you greet them. There's a certain way that you go out there, you do that. We also, when you talk about that, we include our culture. My grandmother would normally say, Zannel, how do you go lina motho? Represent. That is parenting for you. So a healthy relationship includes all those components. To say it includes it also includes your cultural perspective because our backgrounds are different. It also includes what? It actually includes even our education. How much you are educated, it doesn't mean you got your PhD. How much you are educated is what you breathe to your child out there. Can you sit down with your children and talk to them about life in general? Can you know your children? Healthy relationship to me is, do you know your child? Right now, if I'm here, do I know where my son is? Do I know what they're doing? Do I know where my daughter is? Do I know what they're doing? It includes sitting down to know your child. When two children are there, they're not the same. My children are parallel, but they are born by the same parents, but they are parallel. Do you know them? That is part of a healthy relationship. So that you don't frustrate your children. They would be able to know, Mommy knows I'm different from my sister. My sister would know I'm different from the other one. That is part of parenting.
Knowing the seed and the responsibility that's been bestowed to you, but being able to also identify you're ili wana kele peo ya musimane. You know,
when you say that, it reminds me to say, one of the things that you can do as a parent is to have relationships, separate relationships with them. Go out for a drive with the son, not with the daughter. The other time, go with the daughter. Sometimes when you have a meeting, know that they are different because they are different. Much that if you have them together here, the other one will probably be talkative personalities. The other one will be talkative. The other one will keep quiet. You wouldn't know what is going on in their mind. But if you are able to take a drive from here, maybe going to Lobatsi, you are able to have a time to know what is happening in your life.
And I love the example that you've given there just before we go into our next question. For example, is super le motsadi hantsel wa ba tlhaloganya gore yo bana ke mo isa mo driving. One, Hasimuto ling expressive when the family meeting setup is pressure for him, imudira anxious goroka ye express about thing. How it's you understanding that your child processes things slower. Or maybe they process quickly and observe and then react and respond later. But it's all within the duty of the parent, like you're saying, to know the different fruits. This peach blooms a different color in a certain time of year, and this other peach is a different kind.
And it doesn't mean this other one, the talkative one, or whichever personality it doesn't mean you'd also not have time for them. What we are talking about is quality time for them differently, different setups, because you cater for them as different as they are.
Right. The second question is, when these relationships break down, the unfortunate reality, whether through miscommunication, social pressures, or generational differences, what kind of challenges are we seeing in society between batsadi le bana?
You know, you cannot give from an empty cup. The most important thing is when there are a lot of things that happen. I normally talk about being battered, being broken. You get to see somebody at the age of 35 who still come for counseling and tell me, I'm doing this because when I was young, my mother did not love me. My dad did not care about me. My father was never present. I'll cite an example. Now you are saying, what does it breed? You get to see a beautiful woman at the age of 25 dating a man of 60. And you are like, what's wrong here? Why does she date older people? She's looking for a father. She's not looking for a relationship, but because out there we don't understand this thing that she is basically looking for the father. So therefore, when they get there, you're like, it's because they feel comfortable. They miss something. They have missed their father. You get to see younger guys out there, but and you'd be thinking that it's about money or something. Sometimes the parent was not there. The mother was not there. What am I saying? These are some of the things, but there are roots, there are foundations of how it started. Sometimes
the parent was not there. There's two sides to it. Correct me if I'm wrong. boleng teng ja motho because go na le batsadi ba ba reng depression e ka eng a kere o jile o thapile. The physical presence and the emotional presence are what accumulate to ngwana a register a presence ya motsadi.
To that, because we are saying when you look at a human being, you're talking about your mind. That I cannot see now. We are talking about your emotions that we cannot see now. We are talking about the social aspects that we cannot just see every day. These are some of the things that make up a human being. And therefore, when you are talking about being attentive, we are saying, are you attentive to all these segments? Are you attentive to the child's mind? Am I able to sit? Are you as a parent able to sit and talk to the mind of your child? Are you able to realign in such that they come from the critical thinking? They come from the cognitive thinking to appreciate that. When you are a parent, are you able to build the social skills? Or you are the person that when you are a parent, but you're talking about a child that is going to relate with people out
they
there.
Have to get out into
then
the world.
That is why when you get to that question, how because they cannot relate. Because at home, that is what lacked. They were never taught that.
Social
so these
behavior.
Are some of the things that needs to be cultivated as a parent. And therefore, we are saying, like I said, it's a bridge whereby we start at home. Before we see the outside world there, we see home. So these are some of the attributes. You need other ingredients to add to make up your child. What I normally say is that as a parent, you either break a child or you make a child. Sometimes it's important to say, Amina, as a parent, am I really a parent? You can be 40 years, you can be 50 years, still lacking parental attributes because learn you are not parented. So now what do we do? Rita reverse gear. That we get back to say, let me go sit down and appreciate the fact that I have not been well parented as well. So because I've not been well parented, my mother was not there. I don't want to have trauma. Because what do you do now? You bleed your parent. You are bleeding trauma. You are breathing trauma to them. Because there's trauma that is speaking, and that is what now you are cultivating and you are instilling in your child. Therefore, when as a parent, you need to heal. Psychologically, there is a theory of Erik Erikson, whereby we say, we want to see you. Let a child be a child. There's a certain stage where we want you to enjoy your teenagehood. There's a time that you want to get to be a young adult. Enjoy a young adult. How can skip a motwami? Yara hela 15 o botshola ngwana. O skipa dotse. O skipela kae? Ko parenting. O gubile di stage tse dintsi. Therefore, gona ra o batlang go reverse teng. Ha o sa reverse ka gore wa bona gore you are yearning, you are craving for that. Le ngwana le parenting style ya gago ya go supa. Therefore, it's important to heal.
Wow. You have said so much. Thank you so much, Zannel. For now, we will be going into the streets of the city. Hear what parents and young people in our community have to say regarding the topic on healthy relationships or the lack thereof. To the streets. Here we go.
Temoretswe mabaka a mangwe a ka le my parents because ke tsalano le o lady ke khona o bua le o lady ala sharp mare ha ke khona o bua le my dad mare ke temoretswe ha ke feel sentela mo nna like sa khona o bua le my dad mare ene mela a khona o bua le na mare a khona go kumpha mabaka mangwe me a tenerile wow so marna kore ha ke rate semo se se le mo go sone because a sentse sharp ka ke my dad a ke le ka go bua le ha ba tro o dira go tele ba tro nka bisa ba tro nte sa ba tro ira so a ke ra se I'm molato and stuff and what mara ke bua lo lady ala mo lady khona mpha mabaka mawe go bua le batsadi go mpaladisa go gore ke kgona go ke tshaba go bua le bone kana go nna go tseneng ke kgona go ta ke anota ke bue le bone la sharp sharp e be go palao ke kgona go communicate le bone that's why na ke kgona go ta ke didimala like sa bua sepe me ke keep le go ga teng ko la go ka nna le tirisano mo marking my dad asimoto ka aka tirisana is ko nka ke motho a di mmudi mare yena asimoto ka re ka tirisana ka nna tirisa o ka tirisana le ena mare king asimoto ela ke motho ela a di mmudi ela
thank you again.
Yeah.
Well, we are back. And it seems like we have a lot of very heartfelt views there, that people who are making it very clear that parent-child relationships can be both rewarding and challenging. Zannel, what do you have to say about that after hearing these perspectives? What do you think family strategies towards improvement can be?
The most important thing is to have a family vision board. You know, as much as at the corporates, as much as at the workplace, wherever we are, we have vision board, relationships. It's important to do that. This is whereby we involve parents and children to sit down. And then we say, what are our milestones, really family? How are we going to achieve that? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? A certain example, you get to see when you are not a present parent. Mommy, you are always out. Daddy, you provide for us. But we never feel your warmth. We never feel your voice. We never feel your authority. Yes, these are provisions that you need, needs, but you also need the emotional support. We also need the psychological support. We also need the social support. What do you do? Two, one of the things that I've learned as parents, let us become a safe haven. What do I mean when I say you become a safe haven? Let your child, this is what I'm going through right now. I am bleeding, mommy, I'm bleeding, daddy. This is what I'm going through. You are able to do that. They are able to hold their hand. When you hold their hand, we are not talking about only holding them physically, but holding them spiritually, holding them emotionally, holding them, yes.
For the evolution, the growth, the challenges, because some of the things or the challenges I normally
say parenting is an assignment. It's a mandate of divinity.
Yes.
When you know it's a mandate of divinity, you know that what am I saying? It's time we become role models of our children. Mold your child in the way that you want to go. Train your child in the way that they want to go, so that when they grow, up, they do not depart. Janu, it's never late. Let's take a halt. Let's take a chill pill. Let's take a break and say, why don't we sit down with our kids? Where we missed it. We let those buttons out because other kids, they are not even relating with their parents because of some things that happened way back. Maybe we are cutting the chain. This will be generational. Because they are seeing it happening in the family. Cut all those. What do? Get like a detox. Family alona sprint cleaning It's time to spring clean, psychologically spring clean. Your minds you spring clean to say, Nyama na gairagala sa nanne, go ga rona go ga se ba mang ka 2017. Let's do that. Emotionally, sit down and cry if you need to. Sit down and feel your emotions. Feel it so that you do what? You detox. Socially, what do we do? Kona la batho ba ileng gore mo family kona na ba bang ga ba buise bo rabone because never see yo. Go ranrelwa di drama tse dintsi ne ba so ha ke gola jaanong ke gona ratla. Why can't we bless it and have grace gore jaanong ba tsile? What do we do now? How do we take out the burdens that we've been carrying because of the parent that was not there? At least it's there now. Because we need a parent. Go hope wa mo tlhok. If you don't get to a parent, wa go motsa go strata. Me wa strata o mmone. Ha go ngatle ka dilo tse di ka go agang coming to destroy. So ke sone tse re reng a re boele marakanelo.
The example you gave gore motho ta ba ngaletse masika ke tela ke tshenolelo ya example e leng gore ke dumela gore le motsana go lateng go ka tswa itse kana a bona yo ka metsi gore e teng ya tshela gore gongwe go na le motsadi e leng gore gompieno like you are saying Zannel gongwe ona le re tshelang le ene, you have your small nuclear family there. Yo ya gore semamang go khupise ko pitho ya gare kgaja go ka 2011 intse mo pelong ya gago gompieno you are failing to show up for your siblings' children. Ga o bate go amana go pele kgaitsadi ga o bate because of that unpleasant thing that your relative said to you at a heated moment. You don't even see you're affecting the next generation. Gompieno some people are living in the city le masika a bone ga ba itsane because batho ba sa la ba ngalana ko dipitong tse di kgologolo tse leng gore a ngwana o na se yana ko ene go iragala.
You know, I like what you're saying. We inherit problems that you never know about. Raising a child takes a community.
But that community breaks when there's bitterness because now how ka kwa rila ya batho ba o salo mo ngalla se le seneng a se bua ga o ntshetse ya ka o re sprinkle na mmolele gore ma o nkutuse bothoko mo masega ke a rata.
Good. That is what I'm going to say it takes a community to raise a child. There are roles that you need. Say, let's say single parent. How na mon me ona le your brother. You're some mwisi. This man oka go thusa to raise your boy child because we itse sengwe ke motho a rre we itse sengwe la le motho a mme so sa se itse but you don't let them get that opportunity to do that ga o kwa itse sengwe le seng ona le bo mmangwane ha le ba ka go thusa ngono wa mosetsanyana but because there are bridges that you have built and walls that you have built we don't do that. What are we saying? Bogologolo hale ine re ha re gola e be le gore all this are able to take part go godisa ngwana mme ngwana yo godisitsweng ke community wa mmona ga tshwane le o reisweng ke motho a le mongwe hela so it's important gore ha re boela marakanelong let it be one of the things that we also do gore a re korente mongwe le mongwe let everybody have an active role mo godiseng ngwana a gago go motswalla mo lekotswaneng o mmuisa sekgwa a le nosi a sa itse batho bona botshelo it's a vicious circle. That's why this relationships are important because you also teach your children the coping mechanisms because ha ngwana a le monnye ga itse dio tso ka di tsengwe le dingwaga tsane therefore in that you are also teaching them gore one this is how we cope, this is how we
healthy ways to maneuver the challenges of life. I love that you said that because dikgwetho tse di heketsang kgolo ya monana e nna tsone tse ileng gore gantsi dikgwetho tseo di lwabelwa batsadi ene motsadi wa naga motsadi wa strata ba ikadima ngwana
melo isore ya nngwe gape te yana ha o rialo the other very important thing ke to grow in a loveless family
where things are just being done routine to check the list.
You're not given that love. You don't even know. You've never heard your parents saying to you, I love you. You've never seen your parent hugging you. You have never seen your parents sitting you down. So it's important we get back there to say, to be present for our children. Let us learn to be attentive. There are verbal and non-verbal cues. They still need you. You have a mandate as a parent.
Thank you so much. I'm very certain in our street interviews will surely be benefiting from everything we've discussed here. You can share your last goodbyes with our viewers so they have your context.
Thank you very much. Lina Lam, like I said, it's Zannel Sealetsa. Zannel. That's my name, Zannel Sealetsa. I have a page, speaker Zannel. I also have another one called Zannel Sealetsa. Also, it's another social media handle. Apart from that, the number is 76252570. We also have activities that we do. I only talk to teenagers. Young adults. We talk about varied issues. We also have events that we do to cater for needs of our society.
There's an English saying, when the elephants fight, the grass gets hurt. Give them your number one last time.
Thank you very much. 76252570.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So much, Zannel. That wraps up an amazing show. Thank you to our incredible usual beautifiers. The sponsor is a PWF, that is Beauty by Penny, for beautifying myself and the guest here at Lesedi TV. From myself and the crew at Mindful Monana, stick around, stay tuned. More entertainment loading on the station from Mindful Monana. Until next time, stay safe, stay mindful. See you again.